Welcome back to Dark Souls 2. Let's get a move on. Got to finish up in Heide's Tower of Flame. You notice that I have the Chloranthi ring on, and yet there's no status effect on my character. That's because I downloaded the mod from the Nexus website, Dark Souls 2 Nexus. And I'll try and put a link to that, or I'll try to remember to put a link to that in the comments section. And it also works for the stone ring. So we pick up the old Knight Gauntlets. Gives you a wee tiny snippet of information about when something's about to fall apart. It has a flash of brilliance, or something along those lines. I'm not going to be taking on, or obviously, you won't see me taking on all of these old knights. I'll skip quite a lot of this in order to get to the main event, which is the boss fight at the Cathedral of Blue. And we're still using the fire longsword, because I kept this in because I accidentally, you could see I had the target reticuli on the guy with the greatsword, and I accidentally switched over to the guy with the sword and the shield, and by the time I tried to recover, I died. So just carelessness on my part. And then you know what happens, you become frustrated and impatient, and then in your way back to recovering your souls, you start to become even more careless and reckless. And at this point, when I noticed there was 3 of them, I just thought, yeah, let's go. And I did the exact same thing again, so I didn't learn my lesson, but I got away with it. So, but I noticed something. I was kind of looking through the footage last night after I'd uploaded it to YouTube of us going through Heide's Tower the first time, so the previous episode, and I was looking at the cathedral. I was paying quite a lot of attention to the cathedral, and as you're going up the ramp, the wooden ramp, have a look up at the cathedral. And you'll notice that there's a lot of subliminal A's all over it. So like in the stonework and whatnot, you'll see like capital A's. And I don't know if this is supposed to make you think subliminally, or, you know, below the direct level of consciousness, to make you think of Anne Orlando and the Cathedral of Anne Orlando. And again, we've got an A in the shape of the arch we just walked through. And obviously, if you're thinking of Anne Orlando, now you've got somebody, an enemy, a boss that looks like Ornstein, and his name is Old Dragon Slayer, and Ornstein was Dragon Slayer Ornstein. So is this Ornstein? Is this the Cathedral of Anne Orlando? I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about strategy. Strategy is he's got butt slams like he did when he became Super Ornstein in Dark Souls 1, except this time he seems to be using dark magic rather than lightning. He doesn't seem as nimble and as fleet-footed as he was in Dark Souls 1. He seems a bit kind of lethargic at times, and I actually kind of find him very predictable and easy. I've never had a hard fight against him. I take my time. I don't want to be careless against him, and he will be able, you know, he will hurt me now and again, like there. But you'll see later on in the fight, there's actually a couple of moments where it doesn't look like he actually hit me, and yet I registered damage. And I think some people other players have experienced this problem as well. But that doesn't detract from the fact that this is actually quite it's not the best fight, but I don't dislike it. I like the music, I like the setting, I like the fact that we've got And it's that move there, sorry just to interrupt myself, but it's that move there, the one we just seen where he thrusts forward and I roll away from it, or roll through it to the left, that seems to register damage sometimes. He also has a projectile attack, which uses dark magic. We'll see that a wee bit later on. I take my time in this fight, like I say, he's got quite a lot of health. It's definitely over 3,000 health points. I think it is, sorry, it might, no, I say definitely, I might be wrong about that actually. But yeah, you want to roll forward, especially when he does his leaping attack. He has one guard break attack, which is unblockable. And we'll see that at least once in this fight. I think it's that one there actually. And obviously with the butt slam you just roll away from it. And I'm using an unupgraded weapon. It's that move there, yeah. It doesn't, you can see it doesn't register any damage there, but later on as his health goes down we'll start to see it starts to I start to take damage from it for some reason. And I'd put some points at this point into adaptability just so we could get our agility up, because it's agility that give you additional iframes in Dark Souls 2. And I think at this point I've got about 97 or 98 agility, probably 97 or less actually. But it's definitely enough to make doing this fight, and you don't need an upgrade, you don't need an upgraded weapon. But yeah, let me start talking about the lore again. Talked enough about strategy. Well, first of all, let's presume that this is in the future, and that this is a different era. How is Ornstein still alive? If it is Ornstein, is it some pretender wearing his armour? And talking about his armour, why is it not gold anymore? Why is it now a shade of silver? I think that might be the unblockable attack. Yeah, so is his armour now a metallic colour? You know, a kind of dingy metallic colour because he's been here for so long? But yeah, I would urge you, and I'm going to do it in probably the next episode or the episode after. I'm going to come back here to look up at the cathedral, because I was looking at it last night, and yeah, you see A's, the capital letter A, imprinted all over the architecture of this building on the outside. And I don't think that's a coincidence. And another thing I don't think is a coincidence is the fact that we fought earlier on in the last episode a dragon rider who doesn't have his dragon with him. This is the easy to dodge that projectile attack. So we took on the dragon rider. It was very easy as well, and he doesn't have his dragon with him. And what's he doing here anyway? Because apparently these dragon riders, I believe, are supposed to be like one of King Vendrick's main men, and are supposed to be elsewhere in Drown Lake. And so what's he doing here? And yeah, we've got a dragon slayer and a dragon rider in the same area, or in the vicinity of each other. I don't think that's a coincidence, I think that's intentional. And these statues as well. What are these statues? I mean, they look like birdmen. Some kind of deities. Are these the new gods of this period of time? The old gods were what? Lord Gwyn. Maybe I imagined taking the... Yeah, like there, that was one. And if you look at that, if you go back to that, you'll see it really looks like he didn't touch me there. And I think we have another one coming up in a second. Again, yeah, that was the other one. It's a bit strange, I don't know what's going on there, but... So all in all, not a difficult fight. One that I expect that you guys will storm past quite easily. And it gives you access to a covenant. And you can see that there's an NPC further up ahead. So, Old Dragon Slayer is reminiscent of a certain knight that appears in old legends. And then we have the Dragon Rider. Long ago, the Dragon Riders mounted worms and were feared in the battlefield for their unparalleled strength. And see these towers in the distance? They absolutely remind me of the Undead Parish Belfry. The Undead Parish Bell Tower, that one especially. It just looks exactly the same, apart from the fact that it's got blue paint on the top of it. Anyway, we pick up Tower Shield. Don't think there's much to say about this apart from the fact it's got high stability, decent fire resistance, and could be useful in this certain fight later on. Looks quite interesting with the motif in the front. I like this. This is a helmet I like, definitely. The Iron Mask, the Heide Knight Iron Mask. And again we get the lore here about whether Heide refers to a kingdom or a continent, etc, etc. But it goes well with the Drang-like mail, the armour. Yeah, that tower in the distance. Undead Parish Belfry. Might not be. Looks like it though. So does that one.
Transient being. This is no place for one such as you. Be gone. You are not needed.
So this is a Targdy, leader of the Blue Sentinels. Very...
Transient being. Nothing has changed. You would never make a Knight of the Blue, and I have nothing more to say.
It's a bit presumptuous. He looks very distinguished with his beautiful armour and his shield.
Transient being.
And he's quite authoritative. And I find it interesting that he refers to us as a transient being, as if he's, he's immutable, he's immortal maybe? I don't know, I just find it strange that he makes this distinction. He looks human to me, and I presume that he thinks that we're human. So what distinguishes us as being, a transient being, compared to him. It's a strange thing to say to somebody. And this is a multiplayer area, so you can join the Covenant of the Blue. I'm not 100% sure how you do it. I think you bring him something, I can't remember exactly. We'll be coming back here anyway at some point in the future. So we're back at the second bonfire in Hades, and you'll remember that we spoke to Lycia here, the con artist. And this is how you progress forward through this area. And this actually takes us to one of my favourite areas in the game. In fact, every area we've visited so far has been really good in my opinion. And again we're descending, or it seems to me, it appears to me that we're descending deep into the ground again, into the earth. And we've got more of these old knights. I'm not going to show you me fighting all of them. By this point it's just repetitive footage. Using the bastard sword. And I can say that I've settled on a weapon for the time being. And probably in the next episode or the episode after I'll be using it. I think it's the episode after, going by the recordings. but it's the... I know, like I said in earlier episodes, hammer weapons in this game are very powerful, especially early on, and I just kind of get fed up of using swords, so I bought the mace from Lenegrast and upgraded it with some titanite shards, and yeah, it works quite well. So by the time we get to the Lost Bastille, I'll be using the hammer, or the mace I should say. Dark torches, believe they give you temporarily boost your dark magic resistance. Old Knight Halberd, not a weapon I'll be using. Again, it's got that specific piece of lore where it says just as something comes to the end, gives off a brilliant, ray of light or something. Yeah, last flash of power. Broken Thief Sword, believe that has bleed effect. I'm not 100% sure, I need to look into that, but I remember reading something about that somewhere or other, that it's quite a powerful weapon under certain circumstances. We'll also be buying, as soon as we can get access to them, we'll be buying poison arrows and poison throwing knives. Because as you'll find out as you go through the game, poison is effective in this game. And you already know that throwing knives are effective. Don't go left when you go out there, there's nothing left. Just go right. And then we'll come to a lift. And again we're descending. So that's us at the bottom of the lift, and you can see this area is partially flooded. And one thing I wish I'd done during this episode playthrough is I wish I'd brought a torch with me now. Because it just would have looked a whole lot nicer. I thought I read somewhere before the game came out that you could actually remove the torches from the walls, or you could light your own torch from the wall. Strange that door's there, have no idea how to open it. Don't know what's behind it. Probably nothing. We pick up the knight armour set here. Not much to say about this. Looks okay, I guess. So we're going to go left here. And we're going to meet one of the most interesting NPCs that I've encountered in the game so far. There you go. I don't know what she's doing waiting around here, it's a bit creepy actually.
What is it?
It's not very nice.
I don't know you, and you don't know me. Things are better that way.
And you can see she's wearing a mask, like a porcelain or wooden mask.
You are an odd one. Normally people keep a safe distance when they see this mask.
And her costume's very peacockish, it's very elaborate and showy. Look at you.
The land of Mirror to the far east, across the mountains. They say Drang Lake brims with powerful souls. And so I came to claim my share.
I think that's an important statement.
But what a strange place. Even the rumours did not prepare me.
In the next episode,
Odd one indeed. I've always made a point of avoiding people.
maybe that's why she's hiding down here in a cave.
I can see that you are mid-journey.
I think that bit there about you making the point of engaging me is important as well.
I come from Mirror, a land of knights. My sword is always ready.
That sounds like a rehearsed statement.
Don't
Sounds very
hesitate to
proud as
call
well.
upon me. Whatever happens, I won't be missed.
I won't be missed. I think that's the most important thing that Lucatiel says. And then she's got that wee strange laugh at the end.
I can see
And
I come from Mirror.
we'll learn in the next episode or the episode after that she says, we'll meet her later on, and she says that, you know, in Mirror you have to fight to kind of prove yourself in society. You know, she says that she came here to claim, you know, meaningful souls or important souls. I'm just wondering if she failed to prove herself in her own society and she came here in order, in some kind of quest, to do that.
You'll need soul. I know only of Smith. Don't waste your souls. Equipment can be strengthened. My girl. Now, there's a time for travels, but you can't wander the world. Even you must have someone waiting back home.
So I skipped.
Drat. You're worse than my reckless daughter. Don't spend your whole life.
So he talks about his daughter, and we'll learn about her soon. I'll talk more about Lucatiel because I've got more to say about her, but I'm running out of time. Hope you enjoyed this episode. No Man's Worth next.